Very good morning, students. Today, our topic is known as trachea of respiratory system. After the larynx, in case of the higher mammals, you must find the trachea as important organ, which one also be known as windpipe. It is single pipe-like structures, equidiameter, and also leads towards the lungs at the thoracic region. Okay, the trachea, otherwise named as windpipe, it is arises from the larynx and ending at the bronchus or bronchi. I already plotted one diagram. In this diagram already I point out the trachea. This is the larynx, which one is called as sound producing organ or voice box. And these two lobes are nothing, these are the lungs. These two branches which are arising from the trachea, they are named as the primary bronchus. Then here you mind, it is starting from the trachea and ending at the beginning point of the primary bronchus. This portion usually called as trachea. I already explained trachea is the windpipe or air duct. The air duct is the first one. Specifically, the windpipe generally refers to trachea. Okay? Air duct means in there you find the trachea, primary bronchus, secondary bronchus, tertiary bronchus, alveolar tube, alveolar sac. All these are called as the air duct. But only the windpipe is restricted within the trachea. The part of the air duct between larynx and lungs, okay, is termed the trachea. Its wall is prevented from collapsing due to a series of the cartilage. The cartilage will be remaining lateral side as well as ventral side as a U-type. Okay, dorsally it is not embedded. It is ventrally as well as laterally embedded to the portions of the windpipe, and these cartilage looks like more or less C-shaped or U-shaped. Okay, and due to presence of these cartilages, generally it can prevent the collapsing of the pipe. Okay, and its wall is prevented from collapsing due to a series of usually incomplete cartilaginous rings arranged in various ways. The lower end of the trachea is bifurcated. Okay, lower end of the trachea is bifurcated and forming two bronchi, which are called as primary bronchi, lined with cilia. At the internal lining layer of the bronchi, you must find the ciliated epithelial cells, and they will be undulate and allowing the dry and warm air to come to inside of the lungs. If their dust particles should be remaining, they will be filtered off. Okay, and in there you must find the ciliated epithelial cells, and each entering a lung. Each bronchus, which is called a primary bronchus, will be entered inside the lungs in there. In case of the anura means the animals like the frog, toads, and these are called as anura. In anura, trachea is extremely short. Trachea is not large because this animal has no neck. After the head, immediately you find the trunk is there. Due to inabsence of the neck, trachea will be short in there. Okay? In case of bird, neck is elongated, due to elongated neck, trachea must be elongated in there. Okay, but in case of your amphibian animals, specifically anuran organisms, the trachea is extremely short, or some cases also be absent, but merging with the larynx. Trachea is merged with the larynx at the anterior and forming one chamber-like structure in some amphibian case. And that chamber-like structure is called as laryngeotracheal chambers. Laryngeotracheal chambers. Tracheal chambers. Okay, laryngeotracheal chambers. These chambers must be formed instead of the specification trachea in there. Okay, what is the name of it? Laryngeo, L-A-R-Y-N-G-E-O, laryngeo, T-R-A-C-H-E-A-L, tracheal. Okay, this is the A. This one is known as A. Tracheal chambers would be formed in lieu of the what? Specifically trachea and larynx. Okay, that is called as the laryngeotracheal chambers. After merging, and it will be called as your laryngeotracheal chambers. A definite trachea is differentiated in case of the siren, amphiuma, and gymnophiona. In them, you find definite trachea. Okay, in case of the which animals? In case of your amphibian animals. It reaches to the length of 4 to 5 centimeters. Okay, its length is 4 to 5 centimeters in case of the amphibian. It reaches to the length of the 4 to 5 centimeters. The valves are further strengthened by a series of small irregular bands which are called as cartilaginous bones. Okay, generally they are giving the mechanical support to the trachea. Secondly, it would be giving the protection from the collapsing. Okay, and these are very vital most parts in case of the trachea. The valve are further strengthened by a series of small irregular cartilages which are usually united to form the bands, and strength of the trachea varies in reptiles depending upon that of the neck. And in case of the reptiles, some reptiles also possessing elongated neck, in there your trachea is well differentiated. But in case of the birds, it is very highly developed and well differentiated also. The length of the trachea varies in the reptiles depending upon that of the neck, the cartilage and complete, but are generally incomplete dorsally, because in the dorsal side you must find the food pipe or oesophagus. Due to this account, there is no need to cover the dorsal side of the windpipe or trachea. Okay, and cartilage must be remaining in the C-set or halfly enclosed. Okay, the lateral sides as well as the ventral side enclosed by them. Okay, and the cartilage rings of the trachea gradually become more solid and complete, but are generally incomplete dorsally, and in the lizards as well as also in snakes, the anterior cartilage round the trachea and forms the complete rings. But in birds, the trachea is usually elongated and tracheal rings are complete and ossified, little bit stronger. In mammals, the trachea is very different types of trachea you must find in the mammals. Some mammals are possessing larger necks, some are possessing also smaller necks. According to their, but the length of the neck, the trachea also varies in there. Okay, and better arrangements in case also mammals. mammals possessing better arrangements of the trachea in the respiratory system. Thank you all.